Hi everyone, we're going to begin by taking a look at this painting that I made. I made it about 2-3 years ago after a trip down south. I live in New York. My name is Noura, and this painting came about as an inspiration piece from a cafe that I went to in the south, and it's called FOXY LOXY. So this is a picture of a fox, and the image is painted with acrylics. But what we're going to do here today is actually paint this painting and make it in watercolors, which is a different medium, but it's a completely different medium. It's water-based, and we're going to go first over some of the supplies we will need. So for our supplies, we're going to need a 9x12 or larger piece of mixed media paper or watercolor paper, and we're going to need a brush, a paintbrush, watercolor paint. This is the basic set. You can get more colors if you like on a different set. These are made by Crayola. Some water, a paper towel over here, and a towel as well if you'd like to blot your paintbrush on that, a pencil, and I'm going to use 3 Crayola crayons, blue, red, and gray, or you can use black. If you need an eraser, you can have one as well. Now we're going to start by taking our pencil and drawing the top of the head. We're going to draw the ears first on this little fox, and we're going to go to the other side and draw the other ear, and we're going to stop there. And we're going to try and judge where we're going to put the fur. So it's going to come out like this. There's going to be one angle. It's kind of a triangle at the tip. And then another one. We're going to try and make them symmetrical. They don't have to come out exactly alike, but as near to that as possible. Then a little triangle on the inside of the ear, because the ears are facing us, so we want to see the inside. And then this is where it gets kind of tricky, because foxes have a kind of mask on their eyes, around their eyes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to go straight to the middle, draw the nose, come down, and then do the same thing on the other side, straight and down. Now this is where the nose is going to be. And the nose is going to be a type of oval on the top, and then a type of triangle on the bottom, but that's rounded. We're going to give him a cheek over here, but a very small one. And then another one on the other side. And one's a little bigger than the other. This one's a little bigger than that one, but that's fine because he's going to be kind of an abstract looking fox. We're going to draw his chin, and then we're going to give him some fangs, but they're not meant to be mean looking, you know, scary fangs. So we're going to try and fix his scariness by making his eyes look appealing. So we're going to draw the fur next. 1, 2 triangles, 3 triangles, and 4 triangles. And then we're going to come and do another one on this side. One big one, one little one, one little one, and another big one. And in order to make the fur come into the face, we're going to draw another little triangle and then bring it in. And then draw another triangle and then bring it in. Now this guy has a lot of fur. So we're going to make the eyes, we don't want them to connect from here to here. I mean, you can make his eyes very, very big. It depends on how much space you have. So if you want smaller eyes, you draw it from here to connect to the nose. But I think I'm going to change his look and make him have really big eyes. Better to look at you with, as the fox said to Little Red Riding Hood. And we have one big eye here, big eye there, another one on the other side. And he's going to need some pupils, and they're not like cat's pupils where they're like slits, so we're going to give him rounded pupils. And that we're going to fill out in a different color once we're done sketching. And we have the fangs, we have his eyes, we have his ears. So we're going to give him a little pencil neck over here. Now, the bigger the paper, the easier it is to draw because you have more space. But we're going to give him a nice bow tie. And we're going to do it like that. And we're going to give him a nice big old bow tie. There you go. And inside, this is how you draw some of the fabric. Folds on the inside of the tie. And then we're going to try and judge and make it about the same as on the other side. It's like symmetrical. So that's the other side of the bow tie. And we have the fabric on the inside. And then we're going to continue his pencil neck down to there. That's Foxy Loxy. We're moving on to our Crayolas, and we're going to outline the pencil blue for the outside of the face and the outline of the fox, and the bow tie will be red, as you will see here, and everything else, such as the teeth, will have a little gray outline. Now let's do this. Now, since Crayolas are made of wax, they're great for making outlines and then using them with other mediums. And the medium we're going to use are the paints, and these paints are going to be watercolor paints. So now we're going to paint, and in order to do that, we've let our paints sit a little bit with some water in them to get them started. And we're going to paint this little guy in brown for his face, and we don't want to put too much water. Now it's okay if you go outside of the lines that we've created with the Crayolas, because that's what makes your painting look kind of unique, and it's okay. I mean, it's meant to be a little bit imperfect because it's the imperfections that make art so beautiful. Now, you can always go over the wash that you set, or the paint, the flat paint that you set for the first time with a secondary coat. And you should wait maybe a little bit so that you don't get too much water on your paper. It'll look a little deeper, the color on the paper. Now we've got the head part, and we're going to do the cheeks, and we're also going to do them in brown. Now the wax, as I said, is from the crayons, are good because they make the great outlines for this type of medium. Paints like these are very easy to work with because they flow very nicely. And they're very, very pretty in the end, especially if you're making designs like flowers, or if you're making an image like this one with a fox. But we're not quite done with the brown yet. We still have to do his neck, his little pencil neck there that he has going on. And here we're going on to the neck. Put light amount of paint, and what you do is you add a little bit of paint, but then you can add a little more paint to the paint and water that you've already laid down as a foundation. You can even add another stroke here, but you want to try and mix it in so it doesn't show the strokes. So now we've got his neck done and his face. We're going to move on, and we're going to pick another light color such as the yellow and do his face that's like a muzzle I think I'm going to do the interior of his ears yellow as well. There's one more place that I want to add some yellow to. Now if you have too much water on your paintbrush, you can dab it in your Bounty, which is paper towel, and do the other ear. Now I also want to use the yellow on the outside of his eye, here on this one, and then on the other one as well. I think that I'm going to add and make a little mix of color. I'm going to put some orange in his muzzle because I want it to look a little deeper than the yellow that I have there, so it can be more of an orange yellow beige tone, but I don't want it as dark as his face. That is one thing that you can do with these colors, is mix them, and they'll give a nice tone to that area that you're painting. Now for his eyes, we're going to use some of that beautiful blue, and we're going to make the big pupils in blue. It's such a nice color, this blue. It's like a primary color blue. The primary colors are red, yellow, and blue on the color wheel. If you repeat your rainbow, which everyone should know when they're painting or drawing, because it's part of the colors, is purple, blue, green, yellow, orange, red. And you recite your rainbow backwards because it's easier to remember that way. Now for the fangs, we're not going to put too much paint on there because we don't want like a black, we want like a gray. So we're going to put our brush in the water, put a little bit of paint on the tip of the paintbrush, and then add it to the fang. That way they stand out a little bit against the yellow of the muzzle. Now we're going to leave his nose for last, and we're going to use the red for the bow, and the bow is going to be a little bit pink and a little bit red. We're also going to paint his nose as a final place that we need to do. And I'm going to use a little more black and make it a little deeper. Instead of gray, I want it to be a darker gray, so more like on the black tone. Behind the fox, we're going to make him pop out by using a color that makes him pop out. You could always use the green as a background, but I'm going to use purple because I like that color. So I'm going to take some of my towel, paper towel, put it in the back of my drawing like this, and then start with my purple on the background. There you have it. Foxy Loxy, a beautiful painting made of watercolor, made by you and me.